welcome to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and we are continuing upon our series, Mastering the Raid. So I know I already uploaded some footage on what I do during Phase 1, and I'm okay, I don't get clobbered, I handle my own, but what I have for you today is amazing gameplay from one of our own guild members from our guild named Doriana. And Doriana, they have an absolutely spectacular Phase 1 squad here. And they can literally almost sold the whole thing. So they were kind enough to record some gameplay so I can go ahead and talk about what they're doing right. So that way it may help you be better at this Phase 1 portion, which it could be the hardest for some people, but with the right squad like this one, it's a piece of cake and you can master it all on your own with no help from other people. So the person that really mends this group together is Tebow. Now, we're doing a tier 6 raid right now, and if he's not at the proper gear, he's not going to be that helpful. So you need to make sure that Tebow is at least at gear 9. So good news about Tebow, super easy to farm. Galactic War shipments, you can get 15 shards a day, 30 if you save your Galactic Wars and you do 2 in a day. So very easy to farm. Getting gear, not the worst thing in the world, but it does take time, like all the other characters. But once you have him at gear 10, even gear 9, which is the minimum requirement for him to be very useful in a tier 6 raid, he's amazing, and he's going to help you just smash the Phase 1 in these raids. So the main thing that's really important for Tebow is that his basic attack, Stealth Takedown, is maxed out. When maxed out, Tebow deals physical damage to the target enemy. Cool story. But if he's stealth, here's the important part. If he's stealth, he removes 100% turn meter. That's right, 100% turn meter. And that's just absolutely crazy because as we talked about before, Phase 1 is all about controlling the game. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that the other guys, they aren't going often. You want to try to delay them as much as possible. And if you notice, the gameplay you're sitting here, it's actually the very end of the round that Doriana's going through. He's actually at the enraged portion of the game. So enraged, usually that's like after the enemy's taken 15 turns, they become enraged and they do like super damage. And we have 12 minutes of gameplay of Doriana dragging on the enraged phase. And this gameplay was even longer, but something happened with the recording, and we couldn't get everything, but this just proves how awesome this team is. So, after Stealth Takedown from Tebow, the next thing that's really important is the leader ability from Tebow. And what Tebow does is that he gives allies a 55% chance to gain stealth for a turn, and then he also gives a 50% chance for allies to gain 25% turn meter. So this does two things. One, it's stealthing the ally. So so that way, your ally is not going to be just stoned to death by these enemies. So they kind of have to bounce around to the person who isn't stealth. But the important thing is the 50% chance to gain 25% turn meter. So that means your characters are going to go even more often. When they finish their turn, they might gain 25% turn meter, which in turn means that characters like Qui Gon Jinn and Tebow, they're going out there and trying to strip this turn meter from the captain, which is absolutely insane. And that's exactly what you want. You want to be able to get those characters to get out there and strip as much turn meter as possible. Now, the other important thing, not primary importance for Tebow, but his special Ewok Scramble Tactics, that gives Tebow 100% turn meter. And it also makes him stealth for 3 turns. And as we know, when Tebow's stealth, he removes 100% turn meter. So this game plan is amazing. And as I said, you want to be at least at gear 9 for tier 6 to work. If you can get the gear 10, then you're set to go. Doriana has Tebow at gear 10 right now, and he has 80% potency, which is good enough to make sure that he strips turn meter here. So, next person that's really important, I run him as well, Qui Gon Jinn. If you don't have Qui Gon Jinn, I don't know where you've been for the past several months. Qui-Gon's, he's everywhere. He's used for Galactic War, Arena, now raids, even for the normal light side missions. So you want to make sure you get Qui-Gon Jinn. His main purpose, kind of like Tebow, is to go ahead and remove turn meter, which his primary attack does when it's maxed out with the Omega Mats. And with the Omega Mats on the primary attack, Qui Gon Jinn's going to do. He's got a 65% chance to gain 30% turn meter, so cool. He might have a chance to go faster next time. And then he has a 65% chance to strip 30% turn meter from the enemy. So Tebow's going ahead, getting 100% turn meter off. Captain's trying to recoup himself, trying to get going. Then Qui-Gon comes in, smashes him with his basic attack, stripping away 30% turn meter. Tebow comes in with his 100% deduction. Then Qui-Gon, Tebow, Qui-Gon, Tebow. So if you notice, that's the whole process. We're delaying this as much as possible. We want these guys going as often as they can. And the other primary thing that's really important for Qui-Gon Jinn, you won't see Doriana really use it, but in case you're in a tight pickle, especially when the guards come up, you have the Harmonious Assault, which pretty much allows you to gain put a lot of damage out on those guards to get them out really fast. But for the most part, you want to try to stick to Qui-Gon Jinn's primary attack, which is the turn stripping from Quick Strike. So, in Qui-Gon Jinn, you want to try to have him. I mean, I was using him at Gear 8. He's useful. He works most of the time. If you can get him higher, all the better. But at Gear 8, Gear 9, he should be viable, as I haven't had too many problems with Qui-Gon Jinn at that level. Next person that's really important is Phasma. So if you notice, with the turn meter reduction that's going on here between Tebow and Qui-Gon, Phasma's there to slow down the guard with her special, which adds a 90% chance to inflict speed down for 2 turns when it's maxed out with the Omega Mats. So that's her primary reason for being there. Next reason is for Victory March, so characters are going even faster to put out their damage, to put their turn meter stripping on. So she's helping to make sure that we're going even faster, on top of Tebow's leader ability, which grants turn meter for allies. And then the Onslaught, which is her basic attack. It's useful. It's putting defense down on the guard, which makes them take more damage. So it's useful, but the other 2 specials are where it's at. And they actually were able to get a furnace for Phasma, so she's pretty tanky. She's got a lot of health, a lot of protection, so she'll be around in the fight for a while. Now, a lot of people in our guild, even abroad, when people run squads like this, people wonder why they're using Genosian Soldier instead of Rey. We all know that Rey's she's a madman. She can just wipe everyone out. But Genosian Soldier, with his assist ability, like right now, he increases the chance that, one, you're going to call in Tebow or Qui-Gon to put that turn meter strip down. But at the same time, they put out a lot of damage. They do a decent job getting damage out there. But you mainly want the assist, because Rey doesn't have an assist. She's a solo type of girl. That assist helps you get these characters like Qui-Gon, Tebow out. I mean, I guess you could say Phasma. She put defense down to make sure that the guard's kind of weak. So preferably use Genosian Soldier over Rey. That's kind of the way to go for here, especially if you want to make sure you get as much damage out and as much turn meter reduction out. And so moving on, the next important piece to this is Ewok Elder. Now in my video, I don't have Ewok Elder nowhere near to where Doriana has them. I used Admiral Akbar for the cleansing, and he does his job, but Ewok Elder just takes it to the next level. So as you've seen a couple times, Tebow bit the dust, Genosian Soldier bit the dust, and with the Elder, besides the fact that they can cleanse the death mark from their own teammates, they also have a chance to revive an ally. And they also then give them 40% health and a 40% chance for Ewok Elder to gain 45%. So yeah, the turn meter manipulation for Ewok Elder, it's cool and all, but reviving the characters is what keeps them going. So occasionally the guard gets out there, he takes someone out, not the end of the world. But as long as Ewok Elder can revive that one fallen person, the train keeps going. The train keeps going, and it's a much better option than Admiral Akbar. So if possible, you want to try to get Ewok Elder. They do a lot better in the raid just because of their this ability that revives characters, as well as Tribal Healer, which goes ahead and gets rid of all those negative statuses. So definitely want to try to get that. And I mean, their basic is cool and all. It pretty much gives a 60% chance to gain 50% turn meter, so Ewok Elder is going to get out there often. But if you notice, once the Ewok Elder bites the dust, now you got to be kind of careful because if a character dies, they're not going to get revived. But gameplay keeps going for another 2 minutes or so. So they did a good job handling themselves. Qui Gon and Tebow, they're kind of the centerpiece to all this. So if you can, and if your main goal is to make sure you're dominating the raid, you want to go ahead and get Tebow. Get him to 7 stars because they're going to be a crucial part to making sure you can just get through phase 1 with no problem. Some other YouTube channels and some other people, if you go to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes forums, they say, oh, Tebow's not good. He's not going to get the job done. Don't waste your time. This is proof that Tebow, he can handle himself fairly well. I don't suspect any problem if you invest in him, get the gear, to level him up. It's going to pay back because, as we talked about, if you do well in raid, you're going to go high in the leaderboard. If you're high in the leaderboard, you get good prizes, and if you're lucky, you either get a lot of salvage pieces or you actually get the full crafted gear. I haven't been that fortunate to get full crafted gear, even when making top 3, but it does happen. I've seen droid collars show up and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you pick your characters wisely. Although I don't have Tebow, I probably won't be investing in Tebow, mainly because phase 1's going way too fast, and I'm not always ready to be there. So probably won't be the best investment for me. I do very well in phases 2 and 3. Keeps me in the top 4. Haven't fallen below top 5, even when autoing the battles when I don't have time. So if your main goal, if you think that you could be that one person in your guild that can master phase 1 like Doriana, because they pretty much got this down to a T, just go ahead and get Tebow, make sure Qui Gon Jinn's with you, and you should be good to go. So as you see, we got this wrapping up. Qui Gon couldn't make it out. Tebow, let's see, are we gonna get Tebow out? We got Tebow out, so that's great. You can use Tebow again for the next round. They're all right for phases 2 and 3, but other than that, look at that, 3.2 million damage. Now, I'm hoping I can get some more gameplay on Phase 4, but because of timing, I haven't been able to get a good Phase 4 gameplay in. Either by the time Phase 4 happens, it just flies by so fast because it usually happens after a refresh, and I just don't get time to get some good gameplay, and I usually catch the last 10% of it. But Doriana may record some gameplay on Phase 4 just to show how they do it. They do all right. I mean, Phase 4 isn't anyone's favorite stage. It's kind of a tough one to get through, but it's still manageable to get a couple extra 100,000 out there, depending on who you're using. So yeah, if you have any more questions about this or want to see something in particular, leave a like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it next time. Peace out.